It's your boy Lock Zero, and I'm here with.
It's your main man, Ro. How you guys doing?
And we are here to bring you the latest and greatest in the One Piece verse.
Yeah. Fresh off the presses. This week we have chapter 1017 on deck, and can't wait to see what Oda just delivered. I'm so excited. It's been a week. Breaks are ridiculous. It's torture. But thank God we have another chapter upon us. And
Yes, seriously, this fucking break felt like a millennium.
yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Well,
But before we get into anything, guys, hit the like and subscribe button. Feel free to, drop any comments in the section below. And I think with that being said, let's get right into it.
All right, man. So we got chapter 1017 orders. I gotta take a moment to really make sure I'm saying it correctly. It's not 117 or I want 10,017. It's 1017. And we got another cover art. And I actually got a little hyped for this one at first because I was like, oh shit, we got cover story stuff. But it's actually was just a fan request. But
initially I thought the same. I was like, oh my god, Buggy's gonna come out with some new superpower for Mecha of this. And then I was like, oh, just cover art request.
This is a clever idea though, like to kind of help him like step up his abilities and his powers, like combining himself with other materials that aren't actually his body and confusing the opponent, to like have. I mean, you can't slice him anyway, because he'll split up. But you know what I mean, like it's hard. It would be hard to tell. Like, is that his actual body? Is that a piece of stone or balloon or whatever the hell? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But,
could be an interesting thing. It's funny. Law's powers would be completely useless against Buggy. I think that's freaking hilarious. Well, I guess he can switch his soul around. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe he can split that too. But anyways, that's the cover art for this week. It's pretty good. I was a fan. Right,
I don't think we actually even mentioned it, but it's a monkey helping him assemble his body like a puzzle, and he has like blocks and balloons and stuff interspersed with his body parts. So
yeah, I thought he was a cyborg at first, but just a puzzle block buggy. Some extra pieces. Maybe they have bombs in it. Maybe they have just your hopes and dreams. Who knows?
Yes.
But we'll have to find out one day. But with that getting said, let's go into this chapter orders. And we start off with the Dome Interior Life Floor. And we have Queen leering over the whole battlefield in his full Brontosaurus, form. He's screaming out, "What is a brat doing in this war zone?" Queen, concerned for the kids, he is completely right. This is no place for a child. How many people are dying? It's insane.
We all know how altruistic he is,
Yeah. He's just looking out for the people. Real man.
Yeah.
But anyways, Otama, is taken aback, and we see a picture of her in the next frame.
Well, no, we see a picture of Bao Huang wrapped up in a in Usopp's Venus flytrap.
Well, before that, I see her, in shocked grimace, behind Queen. I see that right next to Queen. So, and then we do see Bao Huang all trapped up in the Venus flytrap, and we hear Queen again. "Where is Bao Huang? Who the hell are you?" And Otama passes out from the force of his yell, and I thought, oh, maybe he has Conqueror's Haki or something. He made her pass out. Who knows? But she passes out because there's a giant dinosaur screaming. This isn't Barney, kids. This is a nightmare. Otama passes out.
Yeah, before you judge, think how well you would hold up under that pressure of a gigantic brontosaurus smoking a cigar, screaming at you.
Not very well. I'm gonna be real. I'd pee my pants. But Otama just passes out. It's a good thing she doesn't go, screaming the direction. We see Nami and Usopp running to help her out to get it together. Like, keep it together, Otama. And then we go to the next frame, and we switch. Yes.
Castle interior, 4th floor. We hear a gunshot ring out, bang, and one of Who's Who's subordinates, Catwoman, is pointing a smoking gun at Jinbei, and maybe I guess the impression is she nicked him. He has a little bit of blood trickling down the side of his face, and Who's Who is taunting him. He's saying, "You're not gonna start making excuses now, are you, Jinbei?" And Jinbei responds as he faces off against Who's Who, and you see all Who's Who subordinates just in the smoke surrounding them. He says, "We went into this battle knowing it would be our 5,000 against your 30,000. It's only natural you would exploit that, so I never expected this to be a one-on-one duel." And Who's Who says, "Ha, you realize you've dug yourself into a hole? You really are a pain." And Jinbei responds, "Of course, it's our job to deal with you officers." And when he says "our job," he's referring to the, I guess, second tier Straw Hats. The people like right beneath the top tier.
I feel like anyone beneath Luffy is like in that category, but
Luffy, it's supposed to be Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro are the monster trio, but Frank, we had a shot of Frankie, and he's like saying they just keep coming. There's no end to these grunts. So I guess
at that angle, it gave me like M Bison vibes with the cap on and stuff. But we see he's in a
Psycho Crusher.
But we do see he's in his General Frankie still. Get it right now still. So he's like, "There's no end to these grunts either." I wonder if they're close by or that's just a flash. But anyways, we see him flash.
I think Frankie was on the second floor. I think because I know on the fourth floor is where who was. I don't remember where Sasaki was. I'm think it's the second floor, but anyway.
Yeah, but anyways, we flash to Jack with some forces on it behind him, and he's like, "We're at total war. You can't hold this against me." And he's fighting Ino, and Ino is not having a good time. He's bleeding from everywhere, and he's huffing. He's still recovering from his fight with Kaido. And I gotta give him props, man. Major badass moment. You go to fight Kaido, and then you go to fight one of the All Stars.
Yeah, and all his like subordinates surrounding him too. So he's not taken out at this point. We get that update on Inuarashi, so he's still doing okay.
And we see it looks like the gifters, are saying the pleasures and the waiters on the live floor have betrayed us. Those lousy ingrates. We see them swarm. What should we do? What do you think? We're gonna make an example out of them. Beat them all till they can't walk. And then and they scream out, "Eliminate all the traitors!" We see all the different gifters change into their forms. We see the monkey guy in the back. Or it looks like a monkey girl in the back actually.
Yeah, she's like up into him, like her arms are like in his torso, and like that's just so weird. It's like she just has a monkey strapped to her back.
There's a beetle man, I think, to the right, and there is a praying mantis blade arm girl in the front, and they're just tearing up the gifters, the pleasures and the waiters. Mm-hmm. And we get a flash now back to Nami and Usopp, and they're cheering on Otama, like, "You can do it, Otama!" And Otama is back courageous. She's like, everyone who ate my kibidango. And we get a flashback to Queen and his forces, and he turns around and he's like, "She's still making a racket up there?" Otama yells out, "Please listen to me." Queen yells out, "What is this brat's deal? Knock her off the ledge." Then we get another flash to Otama. She's like, "Big bro Luffy and his friends, Momonosuke-kun and his retainers, you're on their side now." Mm-hmm. We get a flash now to...
We got Luffy here, and we're seeing him in the ship. With some of Law's crew members, with John Bart, and I'm guessing some female crew member. I didn't know that Law had any women on his crew. I feel like I heard somewhere like that Law didn't.
Okay.
That Law didn't keep females on his crew. Maybe that was just Whitebeard. I don't know, but even that didn't make sense because Whitey Bay was one of his.
Whitebeard had women on his crew. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Whitey Bay. But then she was also like, I don't know, off to
I think some of the other captains were female too, if I'm not mistaken. Nah. I saw 2 or 3.
Nah, just Whitey Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 99% sure, but anyway. So we get confirmation. Luffy has been picked up, and he's obviously not dead. They're doing CPR and pushing water out of him, and we get a panel of Otama getting ready to declare something, and can't really tell from the background, but Shinobu is holding Momonosuke, and we don't know where they are, but Momonosuke is like, we're so high up, Kiriman, Kiku, and he's crying and concerned while Shinobu looks determined. And then we hear the announcement of Otama, and we have a panel of Onigashima floating, and she says, "Let's do it together, let's take down Kaido." And
all the gifters are looking up.
Yeah, Speed is saying, "All right, we have our orders." And somebody's looking at Briscola. He's like, "What's wrong, Briscola-san?" And then Queen says, "This brat clearly doesn't know her place, crush her." And Briscola's twitching, and he says, Briscola-san, why? And he says, your wish is my command, master. And he just starts decking everybody in his vicinity.
It's pretty cool to see someone get a really cool power for on the Straw Hat side. Like, you know how there's always like Don Flamingo had sugar and stuff. I like the idea of that being flipped on their heads.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And he says, what's with the gifters? Yeah, leave it to us, master. And they said, why are they obeying this brat? And like they're charging forward. We got like a centaur man, a harpy woman, and Daifugo.
The guy with the sword in the front. Yeah, I see. I think a lobster guy above that. But anyway,
we're gonna take down Kaido. Everyone follow me, Daifugo-sama. And then Jack is confused. And he's saying, hey, what are you doing? What the devil? And like all his forces are turning on each other as the samurai notice and say they're fighting each other. And then we got this cool ass headliner over here.
It's Hamlet-sama.
And budget Cavendish.
Oh my god, with the giraffe sticking in his bundle. So he flies forward from the head of the giraffe. He's like, understood, master. Wow, Hamlet-sama's lost his mind. And to the next one, we see another one of the gifters saying, I'll take care of these bums. Jinbei, Knight of the Sea. You focus on who's who. Oh, it's poker. Yes. Who's who says, poker, you bastard. And he has snake legs. It looks like he's biting their throats with the legs. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Out of all the gifters or headliners or whatever, he's one of the more decent looking ones, even though he looks kind of gross. But he looks like kind of functional at the same time. I
wouldn't want to fight him. I'm just gonna put it that way. And so we get an announcement. Looks like from Bao Wang's PA system. He's like, "This is the fourth floor poker summer. The headliner has turned on us." We get another flash of some more gifters, and they're like, "We're here to back you up, to back you samurai up." Then we have an announcement from the second floor. The gifters have switched sides, and the gifters are yelling out, "The Straw Hats have to win!" And we see a dragonfly lady whip a guy in the face.
Oh yeah, I didn't really piece that together that she's a dragonfly. I'm just like, oh, she's some kind of bug person. But I like that other guy, the superhero dude. I think he's like supposed to be like a beetle or something. He has like beetle wings.
And we have someone who is clearly a fan of the Germa, trying to rip off Sanji's look. That's how we know so much about him. But anyways, we see the mouse of Bao Huang looking over the battlefield in one area, announcing to. So we see the main force of, I guess. I don't know if this is like her main satellite girl, but she's announcing to CP0, "This is strange. What in the world's happening?" As one of the members looks on in question. And then we get an announcement, "Gifters are tearing through the third floor too." Then we get an announcement, "This is the Right Brain Tower. They're running wild. The basement has also been compromised." Queen's yelling out, "What the hell is happening? Onishigama has fallen. Onigashima has fallen into chaos." We see a picture of all the forces in front of him fighting each other, being decimated. We see Pig Gifter smacking a guy. We see Pleasures and Gifters looking on in terror. And yeah, just general chaos going on everywhere. Mm-hmm. The next frame we see Usopp, Nami, and Sanji embracing Otama.
And they say, "Nice work, Otama." And Usopp's like, "The plan went perfectly." And Queen's charging up his laser beam. He says, "Don't tell me this is all because of that brat." And somebody yells, "Get down!" I'm pretty sure Sanji saying "Get down." And Usopp and Nami are running away with Otama. And we see Sanji flying in as Queen is still charging his laser. He's saying, "Courier, strike!" And then he kicks him again, right in the head. You think Queen will learn the first time, but apparently not. But yes, this stops Queen from shooting off his laser. And he's like, "Judge's son, you bastard." And Sanji's like, "Quit saying that name. I suppose you are also part of that insane research team." And then Queen says, "You mean Mads? That's ancient history. Now check me out. I'm a cyborg, so I've got a whole bunch of tricks up my sleeve. Did you ask me about that? No, but I'm volunteering that information anyway."
Damn, Queen has so many things going on, and this is just hybrid.
Hybrid Queen. Waiting for this for a minute, which to me,
not terrible, honestly.
It's okay. It's okay. I would give it a C+ as far as design goes. Yeah,
like a solid B for me. Yeah. I mean, but he has the cyborg arm on his left. He has a regular sword on his right. I wonder if it's poison. He
has
has
a cyborg
claw coming out of his hair. So utilizing every part of his body, and another claw coming out of his tail. So I see 4 hands.
He's like a hybrid of Dr. Octopus and Dr. Robotnik. Well, Sanji says
Spider-Man.
Sanji's like, obviously. But yeah, we got some more shit to speculate about.
That's actually Queen. That's actually Queen saying obviously. He's like, I got a bunch of tricks up my sleeve, obviously. Yeah, but Mads, interesting little announcement. We'll say that. We'll talk about it later. But anyways, the Gifters and Pleasures like, this is bad. It's Queen's hybrid form. Get back. So obviously he has so much destructive potential that even his own forces don't even want to be anywhere near him during this. So that's a really, really fun sign. I'm very excited about that. And Queen yells out, that knowledge won't save you, though. We see Sanji look back at Chopper. Chopper, you holding up over there? And we hear announce, you betcha. I'm right as rain. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Miyagi, my boy. And Sanji's like, I can't help but worry when you look like that. We see a close-up of a Chopper who is really tiny. It's like a baby Chopper, right? Mm-hmm. He tells, I have no clue you had this sort of remedy on Zoe, for Dr. Miyagi. And then we get a close-up of Chopper, and it's Baby Gramps Chopper, a new side effect. And he looks like a tiny baby, but he is shaking because he's old. I don't know if this is going to look different in color, like have more, like he'll be all white or something, but
this confused me a bit. I'm wondering, like, is it supposed to be like the way he talks is like an old man or something, like he's like an old man in a baby body or something? I have no idea what the hell Baby Gramps means, but because he doesn't have any wrinkles or anything.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like maybe and he has like rosy cheeks, and he has like no arms or legs, right?
I don't know where his arms and legs are. I'm thinking it's probably just obscured by the rope on the helmet tied to his head, because it kind of looks like there's a little like paw, like on like the right hand of the nurse holding him, like the second the ring finger on the right hand. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah,
I do see a little smudge, but I guess maybe.
I don't think they're gonna make him limbless. That would be really fucking weird.
Yeah. So. Anyway, Chopper's like, it's a super recovery drug, right? I can't administer it by my loans. I don't know what that voice is. But Miyagi's like, right away, but we should warn him. Taking this can cause one's pain to double after it wears off. We see a picture of Zolo. He yells out, there's no time to worry about that. Just give it to me already. I don't care what happens to my body after this. Miyagi's like, did you hear a word I said?
It's going to hurt a lot.
Every bone in your body's broken. I don't know what the pain level for double broken bones is. But anyway, it's like, it won't even matter if I can't fight now. So super miracle drug on the way for Zoro. Awesome. Zoro back in the fight. Get a picture back to the castle interior, 4th floor. This is a who's fight.
And we hear, yeah, damn gifters, why? And I don't get what's going on, but I guess I can't afford to go easy on you now. And he pulls out the tiniest little knife out of his big sheath, subverting expectations here.
They say sizes and everything, but come on.
And he goes,
you got a microblade out there? Anyways. You're gonna show up to... Djembe should just slap you for the disrespect, honestly. Anyways.
And he goes, blade pistol. And he swings it. Yeah, pew pew. I love those sound effects. Pew pew. I would actually love if that was the real sound they made. It's like pew pew pew. And then Jinbei counters with a fishman karate. He does a punch. When he thrusts, he shoots out like sonic waves, I guess, like absorbing the little things that who's like shot from his. Yeah, I think it just makes like a wall of force that the little things collide against. But he says arabesque brick fist, and who's who dodges and says shave. So he's doing some interesting things here. Maybe things that we've seen before in certain agencies. He teleports up next to Jinbei, and he throws a Tempest kick. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, who did Tempest kick? I'm like, didn't Khalifa do Tempest kick?
that frame when he did shave into the suit, I was like, this is some CP0 shit. What the And yeah, with the kick is especially the slicing kick move they use. But Djembe blocks with a Hake fist,
Mm-hmm.
and Who's Who lands, and Djembe and them have that cool little stare down for a second, like, oh yeah, mad respect. And he's like, Iron Body, right? Those are the 6 powers used by government officials. And then we
But
see
he didn't use Iron Body. So
I guess. Yeah, right. Like I don't know. I guess when he asked who was kicking, I don't know. Anyways, this is weird. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, we see Who's Who head covered in shadow as like giant teeth are emerging and he's turning into a zooform. And we see Djembe saying, I remember hearing about a rogue member of CP9, the Secret Intelligence Agency. Of course, everybody knows about that guy. they mentioned it so many times before. Breaking out of prison. The idea of an official being arrested struck me as odd. And then we see Who's Who has his name tattooed on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And he's a giant saber-toothed tiger with a mask on and horns. Got a lot of things going on there. Doesn't have his little puny dagger anymore. Notice that.
Yeah.
I guess he realized with his giant claws that were bigger than the freaking dagger, he would have
a little toothpick.
Oh my god. He's like, ha 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 ha, I can't believe you know such an old story. Well, it's true. Back then, we never made direct contact, huh? And next frame saying, I'm pretty happy with how things turned out, but I used to have it rough due to a mistake I made 12 years ago. I used to be considered a bright prospect, a rival to the genius Rob Lucci. And then we see him throw out a Fang pistol, which reminds me of the pistol guns that they use, the Shi guns.
Yeah,
but he's using his mouth. Djembe dodges smoothly and it's so smooth, in fact, he leaves an after image dodge little frame. And we see the claw fang, air slice thing go straight through a pillar, leaving a clean hole. So pretty devastating attack there.
Yeah.
We see Who's Who flash in front of Djembe.
And Jinbei's like, I can see your talent. Use variants on the 6 powers I've never seen before. Your situation sounds unfortunate, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with me. And Who's Who picks up here and says, on the contrary, you just said it yourself. You're a proud member of the Straw Hat crew. That name always reminds me of my bitter past. And he continues to say, 12 years ago I failed to guard a devil fruit that was being transported on a government ship. I was shocked when Straw Hat Luffy came to prominence 2 years ago. That's when I learned that the stolen Gomu Gomu fruit had been eaten by him. Dun 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 dun. What? A fruit important enough for the world government to guard? And that is the end of the chapter.
With no break.
No break. No break. So, super happy about that. Alright, we got lots of shit to say about this chapter. Definitely a step up from the previous chapter. So yeah, we're going to get into our review. Yes. Alright guys, we are here with our review. And we're just going to go through our notes. Kind of out of order, but we're just going to hit the highlights. So the Who's Who's reveal. Super cool. Interesting to know he was a member of CP9. And he escaped from prison. For a fucking place that's touted as a inescapable, it seems like a lot of people have escaped from Impel Down. Just saying.
Well, they didn't say Impel Down. They just said escaped from custody. So, maybe he just was like one of the G bases or whatever being held, and they're like, he's not gonna get anywhere. And then probably Rob Lucci freed him because he's a dick that would do that kind of thing. And he's like, you know what? If you run away, you can't ever come back. So, go screw yourself. I'm the best. I'm Rob Lucci. I'm a man. And that's probably what happened there. Yeah. But who knows? He might have done some messed up shit, or maybe the government just arrested him because he lost. Yeah,
that also kind of seems messed up.
What?
I mean, the same thing happened to CP9. Like after they failed.
Oh, you know what? I will say maybe this is why, because Shanks was not a Yonko before he lost his arm. So maybe he didn't have as high of a bounty, so losing to Shanks back then may have been a bigger deal, because they didn't know who Shanks was, and if they knew he was part of the pirate crew, Pirate King's crew, they may have done something about him earlier,
maybe.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, when CP9 failed, they were being chased as well to be taken into custody for whatever reason, which I kind of don't understand.
Yeah,
like, you know, you why would the military people jail you for failing? I mean, it's not like they ran away or gave up or something. I mean, they lost, but I don't know, maybe because of being like secret agency.
Failure is not justice.
Secret agency, they have like sensitive information that can't be risked being leaked to the public. So
that doesn't make sense either. Like they got their ass beat. Like it's not like they were like running away to crimes. Like they were completely sanctioned by this. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so I guess the failure for losing in CP0 is death, which is hecka messed up.
Yeah.
But big revelation, gum fruit was being held by the government under tight wraps. Maybe because Roger.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much I want to read into this. Like, devil fruits are a valuable commodity in this world. So, collecting and transporting the fruits, seems to be something that the government would willingly engage in. They did put CP9 on it, so that kind of indicates, hey, this is a high priority fruit. So, maybe there's more to it, than just being a good fruit. But even that, it's like, I'm kind of not a fan of it because it gives implications like, oh man, now Luffy has another gift. He already has Conquerors,
But that's a part of the natural, force. I don't think that's like a special predestined gift. This, I feel like if anything, it's the pirate hat, right? But it doesn't have any special powers. But if like the gum fruit was like linked to someone who was like important in the past, it's kind of like, oh man, I mean, but it could be like a similar thing with Ace or not someone else who like just had the fruit. The fruit's the fruit, man. It's the guy who wields it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's gonna be implications like, oh, why would they want this fruit? What kind of abilities does it have? Does it? I mean, I can understand them wanting.
You know what this really means, right? You know what this really means, right?
What?
You know what this really means, right? Shanks flashbacks.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it. Ready. Who's who? Flashback at this very moment.
Shanks is supposed to come into play this year, so we'll see how that goes.
There you go. That flashback will lead into Shanks doing stuff in present time. There we go.
Yeah, I could see them wanting
Arc
Lost
3 is
Fruit.
never ending.
Like, Lost Fruit was established as having the ability to give immortality, so I can see that being a high priority fruit for the government.
And I gotta know how they prove that. There's like maybe I remember the Gorosei got this fruit ability given to them that's like they're immortal since the beginning of time or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe because it's like, how do you prove that? Just this fruit we think has this hypothetical ability based off of bullshit. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Where are you getting this information?
Yeah, I don't want the Destiny thing to come into play. I don't want Luffy to I want him to have earned his place and not just be a preordained person who's, destined to set everything in balance.
Right, because the whole thing of One Piece is kind of like living out your own fate, destiny, making your own romantic choice.
All right, so hybrid form opinions. Big fan of Who's hybrid form. Kind of mid about Queens. It's it's funky, I guess. Give it points for that. But you gave it a solid B, and I gave it a C+.
Yeah, I like his hybrid form. It's really cool. Got a little bit of lipstick flash in there. Three arms plus the hair going at you. It's really cool.
And at this time, go ahead.
I'm okay on Who's form. Like, I really would like to see, like, it's just like a chunky saber-tooth tiger. Like, I don't know, like, it's a chunky boy. Imagine Jinbei's like, I want to pet your belly so bad. Can I pet your belly? And he's like, what are you doing? We're fighting. He's like, oh, but you're so adorable.
But yeah, this ties into, to me, I'm getting more and more indicators of this arc wrapping up. Like, aside from Otama switching the gifters over to the, alliances side, we're starting to see hybrid forms, and it's kind of like, to me, it's like pushing things forward to some kind of final point, because there's nothing.
Yeah, we're getting serious battles getting on now. Like, it seems like they're really on point. Like, especially with this, right? Like, it's like your opponent has stepped up in his max form now. And then Queen's like, step on the plate, gets Zoro cooking in the back. I'm sure Marco's about to come like flying through the door with like candy arrows through him, and Zoro's like, I'm back in this. And I don't know what Chopper's gonna do as a baby Gramps.
Baby Gramps.
Let's talk about that. What is that? What Baby Gramps? Is he like gray haired? I don't know, because I saw rosy cheeks, so I don't know.
You know what it is? It's merchandise.
Baby Chopper.
That's what it is. There's gonna be so many Baby Gramp Chopper dolls and toys and shit. That's.
Well, I have to get 5. I mean, look at it.
But yeah, I get the only thing I could really pick up from it was because he said like Miyagi, my boy, like he's talking like kind of like in an old man style,
and administered by my own, so I guess something you wouldn't say either.
So I'm thinking maybe that's kind of the thing, like he's old in his mind but young in his body, like it's all like weird and warped. And
he is shaking. I guess that's like he's like old of body. That's what they're trying to imply there. But that's a weird side effect to have.
But yeah, I mean, I think that actually might be something that becomes more clear with an official translation. But yeah, it's whatever. I mean, Baby Gramps, that's what we got. Now, what I don't like is the ass pull sensu bean. Like, there's no precedent for this. It's not clever. It's not a clever way to get Zoro. Like, it was understood Zoro was going to get back in the fight. Like, you know, we're not just going to have him decommissioned for the rest of the battle. And we had everybody had multiple theories. Oh, Marco can do it, Law can do it, Chopper can do it, you know, somebody can do something to get him back in, but just a random, you know.
No, they needed a magic repair. Like they haven't shown anything that immediately heals people's bones and stuff. Like I mean, Marco I think was the most like solid bet to go through.
Yeah,
but,
and there was a precedence for it because
you know,
when he healed the Manticore back on Whitebeard's home island, like, you know, he told the Manticore like, hey, even though you feel good, don't jump around because you're not really like healed. So it was something that would have been like, okay, Zoro's quote unquote healed, but not really, but it's gonna be enough to get him through this battle. And
well, maybe they learned that through Marco or something, or you know, like they built their medicine from that. You know, who knows? Or maybe this is how they fought Jack for 3 days. They were getting their ass beat. And they just kept like, you know, shooting him up with drugs, like, you know, horse tranquilizers or, you know, animal tranquilizers. Like that's why it's gonna double your pain. It's like it's meant for minks, not humans, bro. This is strong shit we're giving you here. Like you gotta relax, homie. You're gonna be tripping balls for days after this. Yeah, exactly right. Imagine Zoro just like drunk on the battlefield. Who wants to get sliced?
I don't think it was a clever resolution to that, but and it also has no
unexpected
it has no real consequence either. I mean, double the pain afterwards. I mean, who cares? Zoro has a high tolerance for pain. It's not going to really be significant. He'll deal with the pain and then he'll move on. So there's no.
Well, he's part Saiyan, so the implication is after he recovers and, you know, recovers from that injury, he's going to get even stronger. That's what's going on, because he's Vegeta's true son. I'm like Trunks that fun. Anyway, sorry. Anyways, another thing I want to mention, who's ridiculous sword, dagger reveal. Like, how did that thing not fly out of the handle like anytime? But I guess they were trying to do the Shagan thing where it was a finger gun, and that's how he did it. Kind of clever, but for that one trick, it seemed a little stupid, especially when in his hybrid form he's just going to be able to do the same thing anyways. It kind of seems. Actually, the more I think about it, it's just even stupider.
Yeah.
And what's the hard body moment there? Because when he was fighting against Jinbei, he did mention that, you know, he used Takai, right?
Yeah.
The iron body, and I didn't see that, like you said. Unless he... Oh, you know what I think that may have been? I think he threw the Tempest kick back at Who's Who and the platform, and you see it cutting through the platform, but you don't see it cutting through Who's Who, because he's blocking it with his body. I think that's what's going on. He like shot the Takai back at him, thinking, "Oh, you're just gonna get hit with your own attack." And
then he's kind of like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Kind of like making a pose, like bracing himself. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So I think that's what happened there. But Jinbei using Haki is officially confirmed. Cause I don't know if we've seen him use Haki?
Yeah, when Big Mom sliced him with Napoleon. When he was on the ship, he used he did something like this, and he had the hockey armament on his hands to blunt the force of the sword. But yeah.
Do you want to discuss who's who, being a rogue member and what he may have done to do that?
We discussed that.
Right.
Yeah, and then there was the Inu versus Jack. Glad to see he's not wiped yet, and he's holding his own, and now he's gonna get it.
Well, the only reason that the two of them fought was just because of the night and day thing, right? Like, they could have been fighting 5 days straight. I think Iko or Neko.
Right? But it's also smart battle strategy. Like, you have a force. Like, you get to rest up, and then the other force, takes on the battle and, exhaust them and keep exhausting them and don't give them a chance to recuperate,
He did fight 2 people, like, in 5 days, no rest. So Jack is, I want to see how they try and take him down. It's a fair fight. I still remember that diss Ito gave him. He was like, there ain't no gas around here now, boy. Gotta get these hands.
Yeah. And then, another thing that kind of symbolized to me, like, shit's wrapping up, was the CP0 reaction, like when we got a shot of the CP0 member just with the question mark, and then the commentator like oh, what the hell's going on, like shit's crazy. So I think they're starting to reevaluate things and consider what their options are at this point.
Do you think they'd be interested in taking out Who's Who as well, just because he may know stuff?
Maybe. I mean, they have relationship to him, so we might see something in that regard.
Or could he be deep cover under Kaido's force?
But yeah, and then the last thing was Mads. I mean, it's pure speculation.
Thank you, Sanji, for conveniently never dropping this knowledge either. How does Jinbei and Sanji both this week? Oh yeah, remember that cool world bit of knowledge that everybody just knows? Oh yeah, no, we never explained that. Oh yeah. But Mads. So we at least have Judge and Queen confirmed.
Caesar Clown.
I'm assuming Caesar would probably be in that, right? He never.
Yeah, he worked with Vegapunk, and then like he didn't want to listen, and he blew up. That was like his whole thing. He fucked up Punk Hazard because he wasn't listening to Vegapunk.
But was that Mads? I thought that was just the government. Like they were just saying scientist group, and I'm thinking that's like their own private, like group of people.
Maybe.
Scientists. So maybe Judge, him, probably a bunch of other people we haven't even seen. I'm thinking Vegapunk, but who knows, right?
Dr. Hogback. We never know.
That would be a good introduction. Actually, Dr. Hogback would make a lot of sense in that particular group. He branches off because maybe he was more interested in life and death, and they were wanting to do. Weapon stuff. I don't get
maybe even that. Dr. Kureha, who knows? All the big scientist names,
Maybe even what's his face from Roger's crew?
Could have been Crocus.
Yes, but all speculation. We will have to find out as time goes on. Yeah, pretty much all the things I wanted to cover. Anything else we wanted to discuss after that?
I think we hit all the points. And chapter grade. This was definitely an improvement over last chapter. I didn't really give a crap about last chapter, to be honest, that much. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't peak One Piece. But this, felt like there was a lot. Like usually, sometimes I hit the end of the chapter, I'm like, oh man, it's over already. But I was like 75% of the way through, and I was like, oh shit, there's still more stuff to go. So,
I always feel that way at the end of the chapter, no matter how good it is. Like, I want more. But this was a great chapter, yeah, for sure. I thought it went by pretty quick, but maybe that was just because it kept me engrossed throughout it. I definitely wanted more at the end of it, but great chapter for me.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of content, which, really, to me, I guess, made it feel long. Like there was, there's a lot of shit to digest. We got some hybrid form reveals. We got multiple check-in points. So yeah, it was pretty engaging. I'm going to give it a 7.9.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. It was a great chapter. I want to really stop and think about it again and again, especially in the second read-through. The third read-through was really great. All the big characters were pretty much touched on, except for,
King.
like King
Kaido.
and Kaido. But yeah, other than that, all the big names were there. Even Luffy in appearance. Most of the Straw Hats except for Robin and Brook were covered. Checking in on Jinbei was cool. Big reveal at the end. Two big reveals, I think, with the Mads. Just with the potential of what that means for the ever expanding universe of One Piece, and what whose role was before, and a potential I'm praying for Shanks flashback or a flashback with Shanks in it.
I mean, on top of that, there's now going to be speculation about Luffy's devil fruit and what its significance is. So yeah, big drops. Raising more questions,
what if
giving
it's like
less
Rocks,
answers.
What if it's like Rocks the Zebek's devil fruit? That would be hilarious.
I'm gonna say that I think the more highly likely possibility is Joy Boy, and I'm pretty sure Zebek had the darkness fruit.
Yeah, because I think Kaido might have said something if the gum fruit was used to like slap him around. I'm assuming for years. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, those are our grades: 7.9 and 8.5. And now we go on to the MVP. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Otama for this chapter. Everybody there's a bunch of great moments all across the board, but in terms of how significant she was in turning shit around, she pulled through.
Yeah, no question for me either. It's Otama this week. Stepping up, after getting screamed at by Queen. Takes balls, She could have ran away. She's a child, and she just flipped this entire battle on Kaido's forces and face. So when he shows up, she can be like, yeah, this is for my country, bros. And, really pivotal, changing the entire course of the battlefield. Otama, you are my MVP. Good job this week. Really giving it, you're really giving the forces a fighting chance now, because we just see in the immediate aftermath. Looks like Jinbei at least is in a one-on-one fight. Assuming Frankie's about to be in a one-on-one fight in a second, along with
Ino
guys.
as well.
Ino as well. Very important that Ino gets that one-on-one fight. Because I would really like to see him smack Jack's ass up. I really would. Give me he's a great villain, you could say, but he's also just like, I just want to see him lose his head. He sucks. But anyways.
Yeah. Once we start seeing these hybrid people being taken out, more and more of the officers, more of the Toby Ropo, it's gonna just chunk everything into place. We're wrapping this shit up. But if it wasn't gonna be Otama for MVP, I would have given it to Jinbei, because he was seemingly, to me, it looks like he's in control of things.
I might have given it actually to Who's Who, just because of his reveals, his cool moves. I know he loses a lot of points for the dagger sword fiasco, but then his devil fruit form kind of makes up. So, cool moments.
Besides looking cool, I don't think he was winning that fight. I think Jinbei.
Not even about winning it, but just the fact that he just did so much cool stuff, and with the revelation, so big moments.
He's the CVP, coolest, valuable person.
Just most improved player, most. But good chapter, good chapter 1017 titled Orders by Otama this week. Really makes sense, and makes sense that she's our MVP. So, yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, we are in our predictions. Predictions for next chapter. I feel very strongly that Jinbei and Who's Who are going to continue to fight. I want to slightly say we will not see Queen and Sanji duking it out. I think because we got a little teaser, okay, here's that battle being set up. I think there's a possibility we'll get a King and Zoro set up. Not Zoro will be healed, and he'll probably rush his way to wherever King is, and they'll look at each other and pose, and that'll be set up for Zoro in the next upcoming chapter. And I want to say there's also a possibility that the hype moment of the next chapter will be Kaido versus Yamato. We'll get some of that. But I don't think we're going to see Luffy. Maybe we'll, because I wouldn't have thought we'd see Luffy this chapter. We got that one panel, so I think there's also a possibility we'll get like the next few chapters, Luffy being healed, and then when shit reaches a climax, that's will be he'll come back into the battle fresh and ready to fight Kaido again.
So I think we get a little bit of Frankie and Sasaki action. I think we actually don't get any Djembe and Who's Who for now. I think we shift away from that and maybe check in on Robin Brooke and how their fight with Black Maria is going in. I think that we get Frankie and Sasaki check in, and I think we're gonna get a little tease of Luffy, sitting up and being like, "Oh man," like at least awake, right? Maybe coughing and looking angry or something for a second. I don't think he's back in the battlefield yet, but I think he does get like awakened and kind of like makes a statement. I also think we get Zoro's revival, and we're gonna get the ending of next week's chapter with like Zoro ready to battle again. And it's like, haha, I'm back in this with Emperor. Like now I have a new technique up my sleeve that I was working on when I was asleep in the 30 seconds since you guys have seen me or something like that. And I also think we get a check in on Momonosuke and when maybe how he's gonna help the battle. Those are my predictions.
Yeah, I want to say I think there's gonna be a parallel with Luffy being healed and what's going on Momonosuke on one side, and then I think their paths are gonna converge and they'll reach some kind of culmination together. So yeah, I could.
Like it would be cool to see if Momo and Luffy confronted Kaido together, right? And it's like, I'm not gonna die, Momo. I need you to bring me to the battlefield in your dragon form or something. And Momo's like, what? I have enough trust in you now, Luffy, that you'll protect me in front of Kaido or something. And it'll be a moment where it's like Odin, Momo, and Luffy against Kaido. I'm calling that for like 5 chapters from now. Just got inspired by it now.
Yeah, I can see it. There was in Punk Hazard when Luffy came out of the trash with Momonosuke and he had him draped across his shoulder. That felt very like iconic to me. Like there was something kind of felt very significant to me. So I think we're gonna see something of like you said, a combination between the two of them, and Luffy being epic, riding on a dragon to go fight Kaido.
I also think if he does a Gear 5, it has to be Dragon Man mode now. He's inspired by all the dragons in the
Maybe. Maybe, baby. But yeah, man, that's my predictions. And I think yours were very valid as well. Very solid. I think I'm fairly confident we're gonna see this come to fruition next chapter. Famous words before we could.
I'm excited. Chapter 1018. It's ramping up again. I get. You know what? Let's gotta stop and say this was a great chapter. A lot of movement gets me. Like a lot of information dump here. We're progressing really strong in the battlefield. Now it feels like the samurai have a chance, even though we're mostly focusing on Kaido's forces beating the crap out of each other. But they're there too.
Yeah, but even aside from just the manpower that they switched over to the Alliance's side, the chaos and the morale, strike is gonna be more significant than anything. Like no one knows who's on whose side, and what I mean, like who's on whose side. But yeah, good shit, man. Good shit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So with that being said, this was chapter 1017. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. You want to show some support, hit that like and subscribe. Any theories, ideas, anything we missed, significant little backdrop scenes that we might have glanced over, feel free to drop a comment, say something, or if you want to just, comment on the bag of walnuts that I have in the background here, feel free to talk about that too. We love to talk with the fans of One Piece and, share our thoughts, part of the community.
Absolutely, guys. Let us know. It's been a pleasure. This was a really fun one to do, especially. But yeah, I think that's it, man.
All right, guys. I've been Log Zero.
It's Main Man
and
Rev.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.